Welcome everyone back to FC Smorgon. This is Looney Loser 17. I have to begin with an apology. Um, I sort of forgot to film a video at the beginning of October. The season is now over. And we made some club history this year. The club was founded in 1978. Before I arrived at the club, the best we'd ever finished in the Belarusian highest league was 8th. This season was the 4th straight year that we finished 8th or better in the league. As you might be able to tell if you've got a large enough screen, we finished 3rd. So for the first time in club history, FC Smorgon are going to be playing in Europe next season. It is only the Europa Conference League, but it is still European football. Big boost to the club's reputation incoming, probably some additional sponsorship money, plus the prize money. It'll probably be like first qualifying round, but we'll take what we can get. And actually, we were in the title race down to the final day of the season, mathematically. The breaks didn't go our way on the final day. Shakhtar was 3 points ahead of us. They drew. We matched that. If we had found a winner, we would have jumped Dinamo Minsk to finish 2nd. So, oh well. Rimash ends up coming in 3rd this season instead of 2nd for the Golden Boot, but he leads the league in average rating. Mironov tied the league record for assists with 14. Kruglandia, my loaned-in winger, who I've already reached an agreement to have back with the club next season, was 3rd with 10. Shapko appeared as well in the league leaders with 14 clean sheets in his first season with the club. It's our goalkeeper, which was good for 2nd in the league. So how did we end up 3 points short of the title? Well, so the last video was beginning of August. August started with a 3-0 away win over Dinamo Brest, contender for Europe for a while before fading back a little bit. That was followed by a 1-0 home win over Shakhtar Sologorsk, the eventual champions. Rimash scored in the 6th minute. They had a guy sent off late. We were not able to keep the momentum up, however. Followed that up with a 2-1 home loss to Dinamo Minsk. They flat out outclassed us in that game. They were up 2-0. We finally had a penalty to pull one back, but we couldn't get any closer than that. And if you notice, there's a lot of friendlies here, July or August on. Belarus front loads its schedule. So like once you get to like August, you'll see like you play 3 weeks and then you get 3 weeks off. Plus there's some Belarusian Cup matches in there, but I don't have a whole lot of experience with that, as we went over last video, where we got knocked out in the 2nd round for the 5th time in 6 years. So after a month break from league action, we came back and played an absolute stinker. Minsk, who ended up 4th, but they're going to be they don't know what to do next spring with the Belarusian Cup, because for Minsk to get their spot in Europe that would ordinarily come with 4th place, they will need their rivals Dinamo Minsk to win the Belarusian Cup. Because Shakhtar and I are both went out of the Belarusian Cup in the 2nd round this season. But yeah, we played an absolute stinker. Only like one rating better than a 6.6 or two ratings, sorry, better than a 6.6. Shapko in the net with a 6.1 even. It was ugly. Bounced back from that with a 1-0 win over Energetic. On TV at home with a basically half full stadium, which was a surprising turnout for considering it was a mid-table side we were hosting. Followed that up with a convincing 3-1 home win over Sputnik Rachista. Bottom half side, we jumped out 2-0 early. They pulled one back. We got the insurance back late. Then played a couple of friendlies before our most embarrassing result of the season. Even more than the Minsk match, even more than the second tier side knocking us out of the Belarusian Cup. Vitebsk, a team that, if I remember right, barely stayed up. They ended up 12th. Beat us 4-2. We were 2-0 down inside 10 minutes. One of those was an own goal, but it was like every time they went forward, it was a dangerous attack. It was, yeah, I was rather disgruntled over that one. Recovered some form with a 3-0 away win over Slavia Mozir. This was an important match, so I'm actually going to show the goals from this one. Not necessarily because of how good the goals were, but this was the match with that win is when we secured the European football. But yeah, if you look, lots of green ratings here. Pretty much everybody over a 7. First goal fairly early on. Makrenko, Uglania with the header. Into the ground, bottom corner. 54th minute now. Kaken took the ball out in midfield. And then keeper goes down. And Kaken just chipped it over him. And then Lemish ices it from the spot with about 20 minutes left. Convincing outing, convincing performance. Nice way to secure our spot in Europe. Follow that up, struggling to keep our title hopes alive because we were 6 points back with 3 matches left. So it was, and we had the toughest closing slate. So it was actually a bit of a stunner that we actually were mathematically in the race down to the final day. 2-0 win over Slutsk at home. Krglania and Kaborda with the goals. I also lost Krglania with a season-ending injury, and Galvin, one of my center backs, for a couple of weeks there with an injury as well. And then my other loaned-in winger got hurt, like right after that match. I believe, no, it was actually just before. It looks like. So both of my starting wingers were down for the stretch drive. And then last couple matches after a couple week break. 2-0 away win over Root Brest. Brace for my much maligned backup right winger, U21 prospect who hasn't really developed. And I was actually maligning on stream when I streamed that match. And then he goes out and scores a brace. Take that, manager. And then we finished the season at home against Gomel we set a club record for attendance. I'm guessing club record for receipts as well. I haven't advanced far enough ahead past the end of the season yet to find that out for sure. Fairly disappointing 1-1 home draw. Galvin had come back, but struggled 6-1. I yanked him pretty early. I'm trying to remember what. I was sort of distracted actually during this match. I was streaming this match and had somebody who knew to Football Manager in chat and was having a decent conversation with him or with them throughout this match. We took the lead. They pulled it back. Pretty 50-50 match, to be fair. But since this is the season finale, I'll watch the goals from this one too. And yeah, Morales off the corner with the header. We score a few of those a year, pretty much. And then this was a well-worked ball. Chapel can't do much about that. But of course, with the case of Belarus being a summer league, we won't have a real good idea of the sort of placements we have until or too good of an idea of the placements until next season, albeit, well, actually, that'll be for next season's qualifying that we won't know, or that we'll find out like June of next year. We will be entering the Europa Conference League in the first qualifying round. That's a long road to haul. And if we make the group stage, I would consider that a very successful initial campaign in Europe. I've had a few guys in on trial. Some guys I maybe would be interested in signing if the finances work and whatnot. Financially, we're listed as okay still, even though we're basically $42,000 overdrawn on the balance currently. Projections aren't looking good, but at the same time, this doesn't account for like European money and the boost to our reputation that's going to come in. None of our sponsorship deals run out actually after this season, so it'll be interesting to see. I would guess we probably get at least one new sponsor for next season since we'll be in Europe. But the projections are that we'll pass financial fair play, even though the board has periodically injected funds into the club. But yeah, now we're almost exactly halfway towards paying off this loan. But yeah, the board are tickled with me. Even getting stuff done, 1 and 2 years ahead of schedule. Contracts wise, I think we're pretty well. We're in pretty good shape. I think, well, okay, yeah, I got a couple guys in on trial currently. And then there's only these 3 guys that have contracts that expire end of December, and one of those is Laskutov, my loaned-in right winger from Ural, but his contract runs out in June, so I won't be able to bring him back in all likelihood. The other 2 are interesting decisions I have to make. Zook, 24, decent versatility, not really a crosser, but decent physicals. He uh, played in 8 matches, albeit some of that was when I had some injuries in back with like Revolkin. Average only a 6.68. I think he's only, yeah, he hasn't necessarily played well when he has played, even though relishes big matches. It's a bit of a tricky choice because he's cheap, he's fairly versatile as far as being able to fill in on either side. I might look to bring him back if I can get him for like the same price for a year or two. Galushko is a much trickier negotiation. Naturally a right winger. I've had him play more over on the left. He wants import. I've tried to do a deal with him a couple of times. 24 appearances this season, but only 7 of those were actually starts. And his numbers are down. I can't guarantee he starts. Never mind is worthy of important players. But part of the problem is he is also homegrown at club. And I need a few of those guys for European registration. And he's a versatile guy. He can play on either side. So he's somebody I'd like to have back, even though defensively, a bit of a liability. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get the deal done at the sort of value that I want. But I've got scouts out. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't have very many guys I'm scouting currently. But I've been putting together a little bit more of a short list with like guys I've brought in on trial. It's like, well, I'd think about it. I did have the club meeting. I did do the club meeting, end of season club meeting, squad meeting before this. It was rather interesting because the only option they gave me for expectation for next season was to challenge for the title. And the players agreed that we could do that. I was surprised genuinely by that. I did not expect them to be happy with that goal for next season. I was thinking maybe top half would be what they would want. But I'll take what I can get. Staff situation. A lot of the staff is actually on like month to month because their contracts are expired, but I haven't given them new deals and nobody else has come in for them. But transfer-wise, I don't have anything else lined up currently. I don't remember if I mentioned this. I did actually, on the last video, I did actually get Cryfar out. Went to another team in the league, energetic. Matter of fact, he scored, I think, the winning goal in his debut for the club, like the day after he left us. Because he signed on an end of contract, and I got a button option to try to sell him now. Got a little over $3,000 for them to bring him in early. He wasn't going to play for me, so it was a deal I didn't mind making. The only other actual signing I've made is one player from my youth intake, and this was a bit of a stretch signing. But it's a signing I've made as sort of a coverage situation. because there's been a couple of times where Lapko, my third string keeper, has had that one little wanted tag next to his name. Normally, guys 2-star or under current ability, I don't consider it. The fact that the goalkeeper came, this 15-year-old goalkeeper came through, albeit he's 16 in a couple of weeks. Decent reflexes, handling, one-on-ones, agility. There was a lot to like about where his current skills are. His positioning, throwing, communication, amongst things that leave things to be desired. Also, a problem of his being unambitious. And he's only 5'10". So there are things to like, things not to like. I'll have him around as sort of an emergency option if something were to happen and like Lapko were to leave. Or if we suddenly hit like a rash of goalkeeper injuries. So that's really been the only signing I've made since the last video. But yep, now the club's going to be on end of season break. I haven't actually been even I haven't even advanced far enough past the last match of the season to be given like my payroll budget or for next season or anything yet. I'm guessing it'll be about the same, if not a little bit higher, because of our qualification for Europe. The board haven't told me that for sure yet. I do have a decent bit of space on the payroll right now where I could go get a couple of guys if need be. But my next video will probably be about the start of next season, just to look over, okay, what I did like over the winter, and once I have a better idea of, okay, what's our situation looking like financially, league expectations. If nothing much happens, I might put it off a little bit further until a couple months into next season. So I can't say for certain quite yet. But thank you all for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day.